Lueroi's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Walkthrough Part 81. Make sure you have your Pokemon completely healed up like I do before heading into the next room, because you're going to have to take on the next member of the Elite Four. And like I said, it only gets tougher and tougher, so you definitely don't want to be coming into the battle with your Pokemon all weakened up, so make sure you use all your Hyper Potions and stuff. That's why we bought all those items earlier. So let's go ahead and talk to the old lady, and her name is Bertha, and she is a Ground-type trainer. So do not underestimate this little old lady, because she is definitely powerful. So let's take her on, and yep, here she is, and she actually has a normal color of hair, so hey, how about that? There's a plus right there. But the first Pokemon she sends out is her Quagsire. Now, Quagsire, as you can see from its moves, it's really similar to the Dustox that Aaron had, because it's not really here to, like, destroy all your Pokemon, but kind of make the rest of the battle more annoying, because it uses, like, Sandstorm, which obviously can get annoying in the long run, and like stuff like Double Team and Protect, just to like really just aggravate you. But luckily we're gonna knock it out in one hit thanks to the critical hit, because hey, grass type moves are 4 times effective to Quagsire, so definitely pull those out if you have them. If not, I mean, just hit it with your strongest moves. But hey, Quagsire can take a hit or two, because it does have some nice defenses, but you know, as long as you're hitting it with some pretty tough moves, you should have no problem. So, next we're going to send out Empoleon, because she's going to send out her Sudowoodo. Now, Sudowoodo's a pretty interesting Pokemon. You don't really see it that much, but it is a very strong offensive attacker, and it can definitely take all of your physical attacks really well. So definitely stick with the special attacks. Now, you're probably wondering, like, why am I using Aqua Jet? Well, I don't think Surf's going to knock it out completely, and I want to avoid having her use a potion, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll use Aqua Jet the first turn, then Surf will, you know, it'll do enough damage the second turn to knock it out. But she's going to use Earthquake, which is super effective, so that's not good, but it probably won't knock me out. And yeah, it didn't get a critical hit or anything, but yeah, it can do a lot of damage to you with its really nasty moves. I mean, it knows stuff like, yeah, Earthquake you just saw, and knows like Hammer Arm and Sucker Punch, which is really, really bad. You have to watch out for, because the move Sucker Punch will automatically go first if you used an attacking move, so it can kind of hit you by surprise, because Sudowoodo is not that fast of a Pokemon, but if you use a Sucker Punch, it can definitely catch you off guard. So, you know, definitely something to look out for. Okay, so here's her strongest Pokemon. It's her Hippowdon. Now, this thing is a pain to take out. It has incredible physical defense, so, you know, you probably are going to have to hit it with special attacks. I mean, water and grass and ice, those are all going to be super effective. Now, the reason I'm sending out Staraptor is to get this Intimidate on it, because I'll definitely want to lower its physical attack, because that'll make it easier for one of my other Pokemon to come in and knock the thing out, because this thing does know a lot of very, very powerful moves like Stone Edge, Crunch, and Earthquake. And yeah, also, as you probably saw, it can whip up that Sandstorm, which can make the rest of the battle really bad too. And what I just did there, I healed up my Empoleon, because I know Hippowdon's going to knock me out this turn, and since I got the Intimidate on it, I'm thinking I can send an Empoleon and avoid getting knocked out by an Earthquake, and since he'll be fully healed up, I'll be able to get in there and use a couple Surfs and knock it out. Now, unfortunately, Staraptor's going to go down here, but it's not that big of a deal, because I didn't really plan on using Staraptor at all, basically, so that's kind of the strategy I'm using to shut down the Hippowdon offensively. Now, just because you lower its attack with an Intimidate or something, doesn't mean you're off the hook, because it doesn't know, it knows the move Curse, which can raise its attack and defense 1 level, so that can really, really, really be a big threat on Hippowdon, because if it starts using Curse a bunch, it's definitely going to be able to sweep through your entire team, so make sure you knock it out before it starts putting up a lot of those, because then you are definitely going to be in trouble. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say definitely, but yeah, you're definitely going to be in trouble. So, oh yeah, the Citrus Berry is going to activate, so probably another Surf will be able to knock it out. Now, hopefully it doesn't put a bunch of damage on me with something like Earthquake. I got kind of lucky with the Crunch, but yeah, sometimes they're kind of dumb and use weird moves, which makes me kind of like wonder, like, why would an Elite Four member supposed to be like one of the most powerful trainers in Sinnoh, yet they're not smart enough to use super effective moves? I mean, I really don't understand why the game's just like completely dumb sometimes, but hey, I'm not complaining here, because, you know, I got 111 hit points, so I'm set for the rest of the battle, and Hippowdon has gone down, so hey, looks like we're in pretty good shape to take out the rest of our team. Okay, now let's see what she's going to send in next, because, yeah, we're ready to take out everything now, because, you know, Hippowdon's our strongest one. We got that out of the way. We shouldn't have too many problems from here on out. Oh yeah, and that Sandstorm's raging. And I should mention, oh wait, she's going to send that Golem. Let me talk about that first. Now, Golem actually does know some pretty powerful offensive moves, and quite like a lot of the other Pokemon on our team, it's based on physical defense, but it really won't be able to, you know, do much to you because its special defense is so low, and it's 4 times weak to water and grass, so those moves will knock it out no problem. So you probably won't see Golem do that much of anything to you, but I mean, if you don't have a water or grass type move, or if you're using like all physical based Pokemon, I guess it could give you some trouble, but for the most part, it probably won't get in the way too much. And, okay, our final Pokemon is going to be a Whiscash. Now, Whiscash, just like Quagsire, is a water and ground type, so grass types will be ×4 effective, and that's its only weakness, so they're definitely your best bet. But Whiscash does have some pretty good HP, and it can take a few hits, so you know, it's not something that you can, like, get by really easily with. You can know some really powerful attacks, too. And if you saw there, it knows Fissure. And Fissure, if that hits, it's automatically going to knock out your Pokemon. It could be a level 100, it would still knock you out. But it's not really that bad because it misses a lot, so it's really not, it's kind of the least of your concerns. You'd have to get really unlucky for that to hit you and knock you out. Really, what you have to worry about are its moves like Aqua Tail and Zen Headbutt. Those are its most powerful ones. Now, I should mention this now about the Sandstorm. If the Sandstorm is up and, you know, it's going, and she sends out a Rock-type Pokemon, that Pokemon will get a special defense boost. So, you know, that's definitely something to keep in mind if that Sandstorm's up while you're, you know, trying to pick your attacks and stuff. Keep in mind that if it's a Rock-type, like her Golem or her Sudowoodo, it will get that special defense boost. Now, unfortunately, I'm getting kind of unlucky with here. I kind of timed my hits wrong. And that's what I was talking about, because now she's definitely going to use a Hyper Potion, or a Full Restore or whatever. So, you know, that's why you kind of have to time your hits and avoid getting her in the red zone, because now she's going to be able to get a couple more hits on Hamlet and maybe even knock it out. So you can see how that can really change up the battle a little bit. So, yeah, it's definitely a good idea to make sure you're timing your hits right, because, I mean, it probably would have been a better idea for me to go Magical Leaf, then Psychic, then Magical Leaf again, because I could have knocked it out in 3 hits, but instead, now it's going to take, like, you know, 4 or 5 hits to knock the thing out. So, you know, that just means she's going to get more hits on me, which is definitely not a good thing. And meanwhile, the Sandstorm's hitting me every single turn, actually, so that's definitely not good. But we actually are getting some decent damage on it here. And, like I said earlier when we were fighting Aaron, well, I don't know if I said it, but whatever, she usually won't use the Full Restore twice on the same Pokemon, so you don't really need to worry about getting it in the red zone multiple times, because, I mean, she doesn't use Full Restores all day long. I mean, eventually she's going to stop. Like right here, I can probably get in there with one of my other Pokemon and knock the thing out. But yeah, unfortunately, Miss Magus isn't going to get the experience, but, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, because I have revives and stuff, but I'm going to send in Drapion, because Drapion's really not getting that much action, and I don't think he will at all for most of the Elite Four, so here's his small bit of fame he'll get right now for knocking out Bertha's final Pokemon. So that's it. All 5 are down, and we have defeated Bertha, Master of Ground Types, the second member of the Elite Four. And, yep, she says she's very, very impressed. So, hey, she still finds herself with a silly grin even though she's lost. And one thing I noticed, actually, Bertha looks a lot like Agatha from the first generation games. But anyways, now that we have defeated her, we can move on to the next room where we will take on the 3rd member of the Elite Four.